Good evening, and thanks for joining. My name is Shiwang Gupta. I'm a research intern at MRC and a chemical engineering undergrad. Under the guidance of Ashwini sir, I've done this internship and worked on a problem that sounds impossible when you hear first, that India farms the ocean, but we cannot see that. So let me show what I mean by that. India is the world's second aquaculture producer, secondly only after to China. And more than half of the fish we eat now comes from the farming and not the wild catch. The government is pushing this hard enough through the Pradhan Mantri Sampada Yojana. And along with both our coast, you'll find fish cages, seaweed crafts, and that is a blooming blue economy sector. So the opportunity is real, and the question is, can we see it from the orbit? So here's the shocking part. The leading global mariculture map records India offshore mariculture areas effectively zero. And number two producer in the world, over 50% of our fish supply, zero on the map. And this gap hurts across four national domains. First is blue economy planning is no baseline. The environmental ministry has no footprint inventory. Maritime security does not know what structures are at the sea. And marine spatial planners can resolve conflicts they cannot see. So why this is the problem and why we haven't done this solved yet? So four structural reasons and none of them are fixable just by launching a better satellite. First, our farms are too small. A typical 6-meter fish cage is smaller than the single 10-meter satellite pixel. The measurement is bigger than the object. So this is the first reason. Second is our skies are cloudy for months during the southwest monsoon, exactly when the optical sensors go blind. Third is our rivers are muddy. The Ganga, Godavari, Krishna, all of them confuses the brightness threshold tuned for the clear South China Sea. Fourth is global methods were calibrated on large, dense, and clean water Chinese and Korean farms and transferred that directly into India. So definitely they're gonna report blank ocean. So this project builds India specific framework around four principles. First is monsoon resilient. SAR radar is the primary sensor because radar sees through the cloud. SAR weighted optically only supports and verifies the data, inverting the global hierarchy. Small sensitive farms, temporal composting and texture analysis to pull the sub-pixel signals out of the noise, and critically validated locally against CMFRI Indian records and not just on the global statistical data. So what was the methodology? The pipeline runs entire in the Google Earth engine. 6 stages were defined. First is ingest a year of Sentinel-1 data, blend into a median composite to kill the passing noise, mask out land, threshold for bright structures on water, filter out stray pixels, and then measure area and cross-check with the optical data. So basically Sentinel-1 leads, Sentinel-2 supports, and CMFRI validates the data. I tested that 6 stage pipeline on the Konkan coast first. The pipeline returned a near zero real detection. Anything bright in open water turned out to be choppy waves on visual inspection. And now it seems like this is a failure, but this is not. This is the problem we reproduce. 6-meter case set down below the 10-meter pixel floor, and the null result is the finding here. Yeah, I mean, this is what I want to say. The null result is the finding there. I'm not mistaken. To prove this, that the pipeline is not broken and is working, and in the exact same code in the Mandapan in the Palgwe region, a documented dense seabed cluster in clear shallow water, and 28 sentinel images were obtained. The results were approximately 29 hectares detected on the Olikoda cluster zone, and CMFRI documents 1750 hectares across the whole district of villages. And so 29 hectares for one dense cluster fits that ratio. Big enough to be real and like small enough to not to be seabed. The two results only mean something together. Konkan alone looks like a failure, and maybe Park Bay alone looks like a lucky win. But side by side, if we see and compare that small farms are still invisible, big farms are detected, and both are being checked out as per the rule. And the Konkan null is genuine and under detection, not a broken method. India is not unmappable. It just needs the right method. It verifies that. And being honest, like The limitation part was that, being honest, the 29 hectares probable number, not ground verified. Some clumps could still be boats or seabed. The year bin composite mixes growing and harvest seasons, and sub-pixel which cages are still invisible with higher resolution commercials are. So this was just a validated proof of concept and not yet a national invent. The path from here seems like a engineering problem and not the invention problem. At the end, like from a global blind spot to a mappable coastline, I think India specifics our framework, like I've coded into, and feel proven on two of the coast and ready to scale. That's my project, and thank you.